In this video, we will be learning how to get a diamond pattern. So here if you see, this is your diamond pattern. So here if you see, this is a diamond pattern, and if you notice, every row has an odd number. Here it starts with 1, then followed by a 3, 5 and then 7. Initially it starts with an odd number, right? That is, when the input is 4, it is starting with 1 star followed by a 3 stars, then 5 star, then 7 stars, then again 5, 3 and 1. So what you notice here? It is printing only the odd number of stars, right? Every row prints only the odd number of stars, and since the input is 4, it will get stop at the 4th row. After stopping the 4th row, the next row is printing the reverse of it. For example, in the 4th row, it prints 7 stars. If you go to the next row, that is, if you go to the 5th row, it is printing 5 stars. So, 3rd row and 5th row, the count of stars remains same. Similarly, for the 2nd row and the similarly for the 2nd row and 6th row, the count of stars remains same, right? Few of the common thing what we notice is every row is printing the odd number of stars, and it will stop at the input, and after that the bottom of gets decrementing, right? It will get decrementing. So how will I create a logic for this? If you see, it has the spaces. It will directly not print with the first console, so it will provide a spaces. So you know the logic to write a spaces, right? Now our target is how to get these odd number of stars. Since here we have 1 star and then followed by a 3 star, and again it is a 5 star, then 7, right? Then again 5, then again it is 3 and then followed by 1. So as I mentioned, whatever logic you write, that must apply. Whatever logic you write, that must apply for all the pattern. I mean all the whatever logic you write, that must apply for all the input, right? So what we'll do now? First we will divide this into two different pyramid. We will first consider the top half. So here I have stars followed by 1, 3, 5 and 7. So what is the logic I will what is the logic I'll use here? To print spaces, you all know the logic, right? That is the input. Input minus, what is the input here? N. Input is always indicated by N subtracted by number of rows. So number of rows is always given by N. This is for the spaces. Now to print the odd stars, to print the stars, what I'll do? I will multiply the row, because if you see, in every row odd number of stars are getting printed. So I will multiply the row by 2. That is 2 multiplied by I, right? 2 multiplied by I, and I will subtract with 1. Take an example, it is a first row, right? It is a first row. 2 into 1 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. So 1 star get printed, right? Next, when I is 2, it is I is 2, 2 multiplied by 2 is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. So 3 stars get printed. Next, when I is 3, 2 into 3 is 6, 6 minus 1 is 5. Similarly, I will use this formula. This is for the top half, right? Next, for the bottom half, what I'll do? Bottom half starts with this pattern, right? Now for the bottom half also, to print space, I will use the same formula. There is no change in the space. There is no change in the space formula. Now to print stars, what I'll do? I will use the same formula here as well, but only difference is I have to create a to print top half and the bottom half. That is, the formula or the logic to use here is a row multiplied by 2, so that will get an even number. When I subtract it by 1, I will get an odd number. So this is the formula. Now let us begin. Now let us see how we can trace this. So what I'll do, I'll create a for loop here. Now the first I equals to 1, where I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. This remains almost same. Now I'll create a inner for loop which will calculate the space. So space is indicated using s equals to 1. Now s less than or equal to n, right? S plus plus. We are incrementing s. Next what I'll do, I will print space. Here I have done a mistake. Can anyone tell what mistake it is? Always remember, space is calculated by differentiating the input and the number of rows. Now this will print me the space. Next I need other for loop which will print me the stars. So here I'll use j loop, j equals to 1, j less than or equal to, what is the formula? Row multiplied by 2 will get me a even number, minus 1 subtracted with 1 will get me a odd number. Next j goes on incrementing till when? Till n is false. I mean till it reaches n loop, right? Now I'll print star. Clear? Now this is, after this I will use println so that it will move on to the next loop. Now let us see how exactly it is getting traced. Initially what happens? For the first iteration I equals to 1, where 1 less than or equal to 5, 4, right? Now it will enter s loop, that is s equal to 1. Now if you see what is the value of n, the value of n is 4. So s less than or equal to, what is n minus 1? 4 minus the value of I is 1, so it is 3. So s is 3. Now I can tell this particular loop will run for 3 times. Means it will print a 3 spaces, right? Let us make a output here. So it will print me a 3 space. Let me indicate space using dot 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 so that like you will get to know that dot is a space, right? Now what happens? Since s less than or equal to 3, I can directly tell this loop will run for third time, and when s is 4, the loop will fail and it will move on to the next loop, that is j loop, which will print a star. Clear? So it will print me a space for 3 times. Now when j is 1, what is the condition we have given, or what is the formula we have given? J less than or equal to 2 multiplied with a row. What is a row? It is a first row multiplied by 2, or 2 is multiplied by the first row subtracted with 1. Clear? Which equals 1. Clear? 2 which equals 1, where 1 less than 1. So I can tell this loop will run only for one time, because 1 less than or equal to 1. 2 multiplied by 2 is 2 minus 2 multiplied by 2 is 1, and sorry, 2 multiplied by 2 is 2, minus 1 is 1. So 1 less than or equal to 2, I can tell that this loop will run for single time. So it will print me star. Hope you noticed the difference between print and println. If I type as println, then it will move on to the next iteration. It will move on to the next line. It doesn't print in the same line. So to make sure it will print in the same line, we have to use print. Clear? Now, since even this condition is false, what happens? It will come out and point to the next row using println statement. Clear? Now console will be pointing to the next row. Now I gets incremented to 2. Clear? Now I value is 2, where 2 less than or equal to 4. Now s value is 1, and s is less than or equal to, that is 2 less than or equal to n minus 1. N remains the same. What is the value of row? We are pointing it to second row, which is equal to 2. So I can tell that this space loop or s loop will run for 2 times. Clear? For s equal to 1 and s equal to, it will run for 2 times, and it will print me 2 spaces. So spaces are indicated by dot, as I mentioned. So it will print me 2 spaces. Next it will enter j loop, right? J equals to 1, 1 less than or equal to get an odd number, 2 multiplied by row number. Since we are in the second row, we have to multiply with 2 minus 1, which is equals to 4 minus 1 is 3. Now this star loop will run for 3 times. For j equal to 1, 2 and 3, it will print me 3 stars. Right? So 1, 2, 3. Finally 3 stars got printed. Right? Now when j is 4, the condition is false and the console will point to the next row and I would get incremented to 3. Right? When I is 3, 3 less than or equal to 4, the condition is true. So S is 1, 1 less than or equal to I minus I, S less than or equal to 4 minus I. S less than or equal to n minus I. 4 minus third row, since it is a third row, so it would be equal to 1. Here I can tell that it will run only for the one iteration. Clear? Space loop will run only for the one iteration since S equal to 1. Right? So it will print me a single star in the next console. So it will print me a single space. Next, when j is 1, 1 less than or equal to row 2 multiplied with a row. It is a third row subtracted with 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. So this will run for 5 times. Clear? That is, the loop which will print a star will run for 5 times. So 5 times star would get printed. Right? So initially we followed 1, 3 and 5 stars. Next, the condition becomes false when j is 6 because 6 is not less than or equal to 5. So the condition becomes false and it will print a new line where console will be pointing to the next row. Now I gets incremented to 4. Right? I gets incremented to 4 where 4 less than or equal to 4. The condition is true. Now again S is 1. Yes, that is 1 less than or equal to 4 minus, since we are in the fourth row, the value of S would be 0. And here if you notice, 1 is not less than or 1 is not equal to 0. So what happens? Here we are not printing spaces. When this condition itself is false, this will directly skip the print statement and it will execute a for and it will execute this j loop which will print a star. Clear? If this condition goes wrong, then the control will directly come to the j loop to print a star. Clear? Now, when j is 1, 1 less than or equal to 2 multiplied with a row number minus 1. So 8 minus 1 is 7. So I can tell 7 times this for loop, that is the j loop, will get executed. So without printing any spaces, 7 times the j loop gets executed. Now this is the top half, right? This is top half. Now we are done with the top half. We are done with the top pyramid. So if you see here it has printed 1, 3, 5 and 7 number of stars. Now moving on to the bottom half. So how you will write a code for bottom half? The logic remains same to print space and stars, and here if you notice we are decrementing the count. Clear? Here we were incrementing it. Initially it started with 1, then followed by a 3, 5 and 7, but here we are decrementing it. So we have to decrement in the bottom pyramid. So how we will write the logic for it? The value of I would be n minus 1. Value of I would be n minus 1. Why we are using n minus 1? What happens? Like if I write I equals to n, then this particular pattern what we have will get printed twice because it will execute for n number of times. That is 4 number of times. This should not happen because at the top we have already printed a 4 rows which will contain a top pyramid. Using this loop, I less than or equal to n, using this loop we have already printed. Now if I use I equal to n, then it will again print me 4 number of rows starting from 5 to again we'll get one more row. So that should not happen. So here I will add n minus I will add n minus 1. So what is n minus 1? That is 3. So the bottom pyramid will print only 3 times. Clear? Now I must be greater than or equal to 1. You cannot directly write I less than or equal to 1 as you have written here. Because every time I value gets decremented. Now we have to decrement I. So that the control goes from 7 to 5, 5 to 3, 3 to 1. Right? Now I'll again use a for loop which will calculate a space. S less than or equal to n minus I and S plus plus. Clear? This will calculate a space. Now, next loop what I have is to print a stars. So, j less than or equal to 2 multiplied by a row number. Here 2 multiplied by a row number minus 1. So, here even this becomes important by calculating stars. 2 multiplied by this, if you take the actual row number, then it will directly print double of this. It will directly print the next odd number of 7. Next odd number of 7 is 9. So that must not happen. So for that purpose, we are using n minus 1, and also since we need a number of rows as 3 at the bottom pyramid, so that is also reason we are using I equal to n minus 1. Clear? Now I'll increment j. Next I'll print star. After this I will use println to print a new line for every iteration. Now this is for a bottom half. Now let us see how exactly it works. When I equals to 1, now I equals to n minus 1. N is 4. That is 4 minus 1 equal to 3. What is the condition we have given? 3 greater than or equal to, that is I greater than or equal to 1. It is true. Right? Next, when s equals to 1, yes, the value of n is 4 minus what is the value of I? It is 3. Right? Since we have taken n minus 1. And here the condition would be as 1 less than or equal to 1 for yes. So here space loop will get printed only once, and I will provide a space here. Then it will when yes gets incremented to 2, the condition is false, and it will go on to print a star loop. Here when j is 2, when j is 1 less than or equal to 2 multiplied by a row. What is a row? It is 3 because we are decrementing. Minus 1 which is equal to 6 minus 1 is 5. So j is 5, which means I have to print, which means j loop will run for 5 times, printing star every time. Right? So 5 times star would get printed. So here if you see in the output, 5 times star has been printed. Next, when j becomes 6, the condition is false, and it will move on to the next line using println. Now what happens? It will come back to the I loop where I gets decremented. Clear? It will come back to the I loop where I gets decremented, and the initial value of I was 3. If you see here, the initial value of I was 3. So now it will be decremented to 2. So I is 2. I is 2 minus 1. So I value becomes 2. Right? Now when I value becomes 2, what happen? It will check for the condition. 2 greater than or equal to 1. The condition is true. Don't get confused. It will not evaluate here. This is assigned only for the first iteration where 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. Right? So when I gets decremented, this will be ignored. Right? So it will directly check for the condition. 2 greater than or equal to 1, the condition is true. So s equals to 1, it will enter the s loop where 1 less than or equal to the value of n is 4 minus, what is the value of I here? 2. So space loop will be executed for 2 times. So here I will provide a 2 spaces. Next it will enter j loop once the condition becomes false for s loop. So j is 1, 1 less than or equal to 2 multiplied by a row number. What is row? We have row number is 2, right? Multiplied by 1. So 4 minus 1 is 3. Now what happens? This particular loop will run for 3 times and it will print a star for 3 times, right? Since the condition is 1 less than or equal to 3. So it will print star for 3 times. Next, when j is 4, the condition is false. So 4 cannot be less than or equal to 3. So it will come out and point to the next console. Sorry, like here I have written 4. Yeah. It will print 3 times. Here it will print 3 times and it will come out of the j loop since the condition becomes false when j is 4, and it will be pointing to the next console, next line using println, and I gets decremented again, right? Now the value of I is 1. In the second iteration, in bottom pyramid, the value of I was 2 in the second iteration. Now after decrementing, value of I is 1. So 1 greater than or equal to 1, the condition is true. Now s is 1. Yes, that is 1 less than or equal to n minus, what is the value of I here? Is 1. So 4 minus 1 is 3, right? Which now it will print me a space for 3 times. That is 3 times a space will get printed. Next, when s is 4, the condition becomes false and it will enter a star loop, that is j loop. So when j is 1, 1 less than or equal to 2 multiplied by a row. What is the row we have? 1 minus 1, which is equal to 1, right? So this loop, that is a j loop, will print star 1 time since the condition is 1 less than or equal to 1, right? So it will print me a star for 1 time, and when j gets incremented, the condition becomes false and directly it will come to the main loop, that is for loop, right? Now what happens? I get decremented again. Now I was 1. Now I get decremented to 0. 0 greater than or equal to 1, the condition is false. So it will directly come out of this loop, right? It will directly come out of this loop. Now what we have to do is we have to combine both the top pyramid and bottom pyramid. We have to combine both. Let us see how to combine. If you see in the editor, I have combined both the pyramids, right? This one is to print the top pyramid and this one is to print a bottom pyramid. So if you notice here, I have created a separate loop for spaces and to print a stars. So star is printed using a formula 2 multiplied with the row number subtracted again with the 1 to get a odd number. So that odd number of stars would get printed. The same goes for a bottom pyramid as well. The only change what we are doing is, since bottom keep on decrementing, so we are using n minus 1 as per the pattern which we require. And the space and star formula remains same and we are decrementing in the main bottom pyramid. Right? Now let us run this and see how exactly it works. So the input I'll be providing as 4. So here if you see, when I provide input as a 4, it has printed the odd number of rows, odd number of stars 1, 3, 5, 7, then followed by 5, 3 and 1. Similarly, when I execute it again, let me provide it as 7 as an input. It will print the odd numbers till the condition goes on false. So it's printing 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 and 13. So till 13 odd numbers get printed. And after that everything is getting decremented. Right? So not to get confused in diamond pattern, Initially divide the program. So whatever output you have, whatever the pattern you have, divide it into a two separate, divide the pattern and write a clean logic. Initially think using a general way, like you will be able to write a logic for it. This is about a diamond pattern. So keep practicing all the pattern program like till now whatever I have explained. If you have understood the pattern, please like the video, like the video, share and subscribe to the channel. In the upcoming series, I'll come up with another video. Thank you.